Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday gathering number 205. It seems like a long, long time ago that we started. Maybe not that long, but we're so grateful that you're here. We celebrate life and the afterlife, and we empower you, or we aim to, so that you leave with a smile on your face with some tools to go ahead in the week ahead, and also with the reality and that knowing that love is around you in the unseen world. And we love you too. So I know we have many returning friends here today, and I know we have some brand new friends here for the first time. And I think there's a few first time on Zoom, wherever in the world you are. We are a very real community, and I want to welcome you. Darren will make proper introductions, but I just want to say on my behalf here, I'm super happy. I have Darren Wynn with me. Of course, he and I had the brainstorm of the Sunday gathering, oh, just long, long time ago. And our good friend Maurice Israel is with us too. He'll be our medium today. Our friends Carrie and Phil are on a 30-hour journey down under, and many of you I know will be seeing them in Australia and New Zealand. So with that, let me turn it over to Darren.
Hello, Sandra, and thank you for that wonderful intro. And how welcome to you. Can you believe Sunday having 205? Who would have thought? Who would have believed it? And you know what? It fits well with our theme today about being true to yourself. Can you imagine all those years ago? I actually what I was going to say then. It was years ago that we came up. Myself and Sandra came up with the idea of the Sunday Gathering. But you know what? If we'd have listened to everyone back then, don't do it, oh, it's not going to work, it's, whatever it may be, we wouldn't be here today. But here we are, we stuck to our truth, and here we are 205 weeks later. So, like I said, massive welcome to all of you. There's myself, Darren, who'll be chairing today. I'll be doing the prayers and part of the address. We've got the wonderful hostess, Sandra Champlain. He'll be doing all the behind the scenes today, and she'll also be doing our reading and part of the address as well, and our words for the week. And then we've got a wonderful gentleman, Maurice Israel, who, I think a few of you may have met a little while back. I think Maurice was on. And I was thinking earlier, I've known Maurice for nearly 15 years, I believe. We've done work together, we've partied together, we've had drinks together, and here we are now on the Sunday gathering together. And it's an honor and a privilege to be here working with these two wonderful people. And Maurice will be doing our mediumship for today. So, ladies and gents, without further ado, I shall get us started. So if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for today's opening prayer. We come together here united as one, as friends, brothers and sisters from across our lands. We come here together with an open heart and an open mind, with the possibility of uniting the two worlds together as one, once again under that banner of We Don't Die. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, we come together here in truth, honesty and love, so that we can create that best meeting ground in which our workers here today can communicate those thoughts and words from your world to bring us all those moments of joy, healing and upliftment. And for each and every one of our workers here today, we deem it an absolute joy and privilege to be that conduit between the two worlds, to express those thoughts, feelings and words from your world to ours. And each and every one of us does this with the utmost integrity, truth, and we do this to the best of our ability, the best of our knowledge, and the best of our understanding, so that we truly can be the best beacon that we can and make you proud to spread the word and bring comfort to all those in need. As we come here together today, each and every one of us comes together in the knowing and understanding that language is spoken, country of residence, and personal background and understanding holds no boundaries or barriers within your world. As each and every one of us comes here today as equals, and each and every one of us is treated as equals from your world also, to allow us all to be part of this wonderful experience in bringing the two worlds together as one, and allowing us all once again to immerse ourselves in the unconditional love and that healing balm of the unseen world. As we open up this Sunday gathering today, We do so as always with positivity within our hearts and our minds and smiles upon our faces. And we offer you love in abundance so that we can truly create that perfect meeting ground for those two worlds to come together once again. And we ask, as always, that healing light continues to shine out to all four corners of our world to bring those moments of joy, love, and laughter to all those hearts and minds that may be in need at this time. So, without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. And ladies and gentlemen, there's some weird internet gremlin going on. I think it's my internet here. So if I should happen to disappear, I'll be right back. But I won't put that out there. Okay, for the reading today. The great Buddha said, "Believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, no matter if I had said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and common sense." The reading today and our theme really is being unique to you. And I found a nice article written by Greg Frucci, and it's called "Following Your Internal Compass and Making Your Own Decisions." He says, Dad, who at the time was a fighter pilot in the United States Marine Corps, taught me how to navigate using a compass. The family was on vacation in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. I was 9 years old. He got me up that morning before dawn. Mom made us a huge breakfast. I was so excited because I knew that day I would climb my very first mountain. No, it wasn't Mount Everest or even a huge mountain in Colorado, but for a kid who has spent most of his life in the flatlands of the eastern seaboard, the small mountain within eyeshot of the cabin was a monument of great proportions. I was pumped, even though that phrase didn't exist in the 60s. Once outside the cabin and on our way, Dad stopped for a moment. He looked down at me from above and handed me his engineering compass, which he had used during his survival school training. It was like being handed a bar of gold because before that day, I was not allowed to touch it. Son, we're going to climb to the top of the mountain and you are going to get us there using this compass, Dad said very seriously. But Dad, I don't know how, I whined. Now my father was smiling. Other than the fact that we made the climb safely, including an encounter with a black bear, I remember few things about that day. And I wish Dad was still alive so that I could refresh my cloudy mind. What I do know is this: I never feel lost, even to this day. Sure, from time to time in my life, I feel confused about where I am or where I'm going, but I never feel like I will not get where I'm supposed to go. With a compass, any compass, one can always pause for a moment in time and figure out where you are so that you can continue. All of us must change course from time to time because what is surrounding us is constantly changing. To not flow with change will only invite disaster. Sure, you may not notice a difference at first, but if you fight that which does not wish to be fought, you will suffer in the end. What the heck are you talking about, dude? You might ask. Beyond the obvious, what Dad was teaching me at the time did not take on meaning for me for many, many years. On the surface, knowing how to navigate with a compass at sea or on land will only come in handy if you are in a situation where most people would declare, "I am lost and my GPS is out of battery power." Beneath the obvious is an enormous lesson about independence and the ability to travel along one's own path of life, a path which will never be a straight line, a path with many bends, hills, valleys, oceans of fog, storms, and dark forests. The cool thing is this: you have a compass within your being. All of us do. Call it whatever you wish. This is your choice as a human. I have chosen, and I call it my inner voice. Become immune to other people's judgment. Their thoughts of you do not matter. This is the truth. In fact, some will say that everyone is afraid of you, which is why they will lash out with negativity first. Your internal compass is truth. The physical compass my father handed me that day when I was 9, that was truth too. The directions of a compass cannot be denied. And when you have faith that what direction you take based on what you see on the compass face is the correct one, you will arrive at your destination. Even if you have to change course from time to time in order to go around an obstruction. Your internal compass is the same, but you must listen to that voice and you must have faith in what you already have, which is an internal guidance system. How do you know this to be true? Well, I cannot prove it any more than anyone can prove the existence of anything unseen beyond a shadow of a doubt. Only the individual can do that. I know what I know, and what I know is this. When I was in high school, my guidance counselor advised me not to apply to a certain university because I was only a C student, and the only ones who were allowed to go there were much, much smarter than me. He said with a smile of one who professes supreme knowledge, don't waste your time and money applying there because you definitely will not get accepted. I heard his words, thought about them, and decided that I was not going to allow another person to dictate my future. My parents drove me to the campus of Carnegie Mellon University for a portfolio showing / interview with the head of the Department of Architecture. I took an exam, and a few months later, they accepted me, and not the straight A valedictorian of my class. After graduating with honors in 1984, I went on to get my architecture license, working as an architect for over 20 years. The guidance counselor was flat out wrong. How many people listen to the words of others who profess supreme knowledge? How many fellow humans allow their hopes and dreams to be squelched by people who do not know what is inside of them? My internal compass was screaming at me from within, and so I listened. Choice. Yours is speaking to you right now as you listen to these words. Sure, there have been times when I caved and listened to others. That's human, and it's happened many times. And I can think of the disasters that followed from not listening to my voice. Quiet your mind now for a moment and listen. What do you hear? Remaining in the present moment, which flows with time, knowing the moment is not static. This is how one is able to hear clearly the voice within. What is your greatest challenge? Do something about it beginning now. Of course, we can all take the advice and counsel of others. I will always listen to the words of ones whom I respect. But the final say, the composite of all the words spoken, will be finally judged by that which is inside of me and on the terms of my personal compass. Only you know completely. No other human will ever come close. So why would we ever let another human decide anything for us? It was my personal compass that guided me, the same compass that I still reference in the present moment of time, which flows, and the same compass will always guide me home and will always guide you home. Thank you. That was by Greg Frucci, who's done many things between art and architecture and so much. So we're going to go into our healing song now, and Darren has picked most of the music for today. This song is called No Matter What by Callum Scott. And as in no matter what, you will always be loved. Always. Whether our parents said it, they may be in the unseen world now, or that divine presence. You, my friend, are one in 9 billion right now. You are loved. As we go into healing, let us remember those who need healing. Let us picture them healthy, well, and whole. Could be our pets, could be places in this world. We know so much of this earth needs healing right now. But if we can just take that moment and be in that present moment, perhaps listen to that inner voice and just offer that moment of love. And then we'll be back and you'll hear from Darren and then myself for the address. So here is our healing song.
Thank you for that, Sandra. And that's one of my favourite songs. And it kind of sums up quite a lot, really. And it reminds me of my youth a little bit, talking like an old person now. But I know when I was younger, my parents were the same. They loved me no matter what, as long as I was happy and as long as I did things, I wanted to do, not harming or hurting anyone else. They loved me no matter what. And so it brings back a lot of memories for me, that song, so I love it. And all the songs we played today go along with our theme, being true to yourself. We have the first one in a million, about, going against the norm and doing something you want to do. And you got the second song, Beautiful. Hopefully this resonates with a lot of you guys. And these songs are meant for you, no matter what, you guys are beautiful inside and out. Nobody should be able to box you or put you in a frame or tell you how to be. There's something my mum used to say to me when I was younger. She used to say, when God made you, he broke the mold, however you understand God to be. And when I think, how true is that saying? Each and every one of us, we look completely different from each other. We speak different from each other. We act different from each other. That's how it should be. Can you imagine if you had 100 of me, 100 people that looked like me, talked like me, spoke like me, acted? How boring would that be? We'd have nothing to really talk about or engage about. But when everyone's different and unique like we are, how wonderful is that? And I know at the beginning we mentioned our Sunday gathering, episode 205. And myself, Sandra, and Scott, we went along to a place to be part of a group, just to experience it and see what it was about. And it was a spiritualist group. And we went to several gatherings similar to this, I suppose. And what we couldn't believe was it was very robotic. We went to about 3 different ones, and every week it was exactly the same. The words of the prayer was read off a piece of paper. That same bit of paper was transported to every event, and the same prayer was read every week. The same philosophy was read every week. And I was like, how boring is this? These people are being boxed in. They're being told how to behave. And you only have to look at some people, they have wild hair, wild makeup. Fantastic. That's how they're meant to be. But can you imagine if you try and box these people and try to get them to behave in a certain way, a certain manner? Myself and Sandra, we've been on a couple of courses and done a few bits and bobs, but we don't proclaim to be, we have no degrees in spiritualism. We have no professional qualifications in spiritualism. But we decided to come up with Sunday Gathering to make it unique, make it different. And you know what? We do it from our hearts. We have the right intent behind it. How it be, how you should dress, how you should behave. We try to be respectful, absolutely. But when you go to a church sometimes and you're given a laundry list, you must be on platform in a suit and a tie. You can't say this, you can't do that, you can't walk around, you can't. That's crazy. You spend so much time trying to conform to these rules and regulations that we forget we're working with a spirit. And you forget that when you're under these controls, you forget all that. And we wanted to kind of create that environment, that space that hopefully everyone enjoys. And hopefully every one of us are different as a presenter. I'm different to Sandra, Sandra's different to Maurice. We've all got our own personalities, and hopefully that flourishes through. We don't have a rule book saying what we should do, how we should do it. We have guidelines because you have to. And we have our own sort of moral compass that we behave to and adhere to. But apart from that, we want to be here for the good of spirit and for the good of you people. We want to help humanity in any way we can. And that's how the Sunday Gathering kind of came about. But in the early days, we was told, oh, it's not possible. And I think, to be honest, they frowned upon me and Sandra because we had no qualifications. We wasn't registered anywhere. But do you know what? We do have qualifications. We have life experience. We've all lived a life. We speak to people, we interact with people, and we're doing it for the good of spirit from the bottom of our heart. That's our qualifications, I believe. And that's how but can you imagine if we'd have listened to all these people all those years ago, you can't do it, it's not possible. Well, for all those guys and girls that said that, here we are 205 weeks later, and we're still going and we still love it. And it's thanks to you guys for allowing us to do it and being part of it. So, you guys we're just as grateful to you guys as to the spirit world for this. So thank you. But again, it's, this Sunday Gathering is about being true to you, being that unique individual that you are. And I think Sandra mentioned it in her reading. How many of us are told how to behave and how to act? And you know what? I love to be the rebel. I love to rebel against those people. Always have, always will. Because, like Sandra said, how can another human being, we're all born from the same place, we come from the same place. What gives another human being the right to supersede you and tell you how to behave, how to be, what to do and what not to do? When we take a look around us in the world, let's look at nature. We've got certain plants that grow in certain countries because of the climate, the weather, the right conditions, whatever it may be. And for years, you're told that can only grow in that country. That now, I guarantee you can probably get any plant you want in any country you want, because we've created a condition for that plant to be able to grow in another country, whether it's in a greenhouse, your own house, whatever it may be. But we can all enjoy nature that we couldn't enjoy before. But can you imagine if we said, oh, you can't move that plant from there, you can't do this, you can't do that? We'd never get to experience all these wonderful plants we have today. Look at some of our animals. Certain animals are born in certain countries and live in certain climates, absolutely. But can you imagine, if we were you can't move that animal from there, you can't do. Now look, you can probably go to any country and see every animal possible. But can you imagine if we box all these things in and limit, and I think that's what human nature we do, we limit things. And like I said, I'm one of the biggest rebellions going. I will not adhere to any, I'm respectful and I'm, pleasant to people, but I will never be boxed in, and neither should you. Throughout my whole career, and I know I've spoken about my career on here before, I've worked for big organizations and corporations. And I know I'll go back to one of what I worked for. I was worked in construction. And I know you think, a gay guy working in construction? Yeah, it's bizarre. But do you know what? And that's how I was made to feel. I was like the black sheep of the family, if you like, within that industry. And I was treated as so. But do you know what? I went with what I believed and what was in my thoughts and what in my head. And you get it in many times. You get it. We run a diner now. How many people do you get try to copy? You come up with a wonderful idea, people copy it. How successful are those people usually that copy your ideas, your suggestions? They normally fail. And do you know why? And me and Scott have this conversation all the time. We run a diner now, and it's reasonably successful. And many people town, and it's coming from you, it's coming from your soul, it's got your passion behind it, it's got your intention behind it. When people try to copy what's coming from your heart, your soul. It doesn't work because it's unique to you. Um, but again, if I go back all those years and all those jobs I've had, if I listened to all those people that told me you can't do this or you got to do that, I wouldn't be where I was today. Definitely would not be. I had jobs, and I speak to people, doesn't matter who you are, what position you hold, I will speak to you the same. But some people, when they speak to someone superior, they change their attitude, their behavior. And absolutely, you have to be respectful. But I will treat you like I treat my cleaner at work. The director to the cleaner, doesn't matter what title you hold, what position you hold, I will treat you the same. I will speak to you the same. Because at the end of the day, and my mum said this before, we've entered this world the same, and we all leave this world the same, and anybody else. And again, if you look at, there's various different people that I know personally, you may have seen on media. How many people get diagnosed with medical conditions? I mean, I know a gentleman who was diagnosed with cancer last year, and he was stage 4, nothing we could do for you or help you. We just have to, make you as comfortable as we can. He's now coming back to work next month. He defied, what people said. He pushed through and pushed back at what they said. He's now eradicated himself from cancer. He's in the clear and he's back to work there and accepted what was said. He wouldn't be where he is today. He probably wouldn't even be here today. You get people get told, oh, you can't have a baby, you can't get pregnant. It's too easy to sit back and say, okay, but how many people do we know or do you know got told that, lo and behold, they have a baby? Because they're not listening to what, sometimes you have to go with your gut. You have to go with what you feel. And when people put you in a box or tell you you can't, you can. For me, we have words, barriers, boundaries. That's exactly what they are, barriers and boundaries. Barriers can be removed, boundaries can be removed. If you look at construction, when you have a barrier somewhere, it's not there forever. It can't not be moved. It can be. And it's the same as in life. We have these boundaries and they can be removed. But sadly, some people don't believe they can be removed. I had a conversation recently with a counsellor who came into my store, and we were talking because the businesses don't get on with the councils. There's a big divide and a big issue with them at the moment. And I said to him, I said, can you answer me this? I said, why is there a divide between us and you? What's the problem? We're both in the same town, trying to grow the town and help the town. We've both got the same goals, but we're working at different opposites to each other. Why is that? And he couldn't really answer it. And this is the vice president of the council. And I said, well, what we need to do, we need to get together, sit down and devise a plan that we can work together. And I gave a few suggestions as I do. And straight away, I was met with barriers and boundaries. And I said, stop. I said, that's part of the issue. Whenever there's a suggestion or an idea, straight away it's shut down. That can't be done because of this. That can't be done because why? Who makes these rules and these regulations? A human being, right? So why can't a human being change that regulation or change that, whatever it may be? Things are possible, but you need to make it possible, not come up with all these stops and barriers why it can't be done. And actually, we had quite an open and honest conversation, and he's taken a lot of the ideas and stuff back. But, it's like I said at the beginning, we was all born to be unique and individual. That we are. God, whoever you understand or believe God to be, did truly break that mold when he created you. And I think, we go through life being told we can't do this, can't do that, do this, do that. No. You're an individual. You have your own mind, your own heart, and your own ideas. Don't allow others to push you in a corner, box you in a corner, whatever it may be. You should be who you truly want to be. How many people do you know, friends, family, colleagues, whatever it may be, who are not being true to themselves? I know people that are not being true to themselves. Would you say they're happy? No. Why not? Because they're living a lie. they're not living who they're meant to be. And then the videos that we play for the music, I don't know if any of you saw or watched the actual videos themselves. If you looked, you had two guys in the first video who go back 20, 30 years.
I think Darren's internet has frozen. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Okay. I will continue on. Darren, we lost you, but we love you and he'll be back. Okay. I'm going to continue on. And I tell you, little gremlins in the internet. When I read that reading about the inner compass, it got me thinking, as I'm sure it did with you all, about the people in your past who told you you couldn't do something and then you did it. It is following that inner guidance. And I'm extremely grateful for the parents that I have. My dad, he always worked for someone. He was a captain for American Airlines and he always had a job. And back in 1991, I ventured out and I opened a small business. I opened a coffee and chocolate store. I'm a chef by trade, for those who don't know, and I used to love making the chocolates. And it was when the big coffee boom was coming to Seattle. And my mom had an idea of me opening a coffee and chocolate store. And I was between jobs at the time, not sure exactly what I was going to do. She says, move in with me and open a coffee and chocolate store. Sounds like a great idea, right? Absolutely. And she says, if it doesn't work, then she says, you just do something else, right? So that's my mom. Give it a go. If it doesn't work, you do something else. My sweet dad said, Sandra, I don't think it's going to work. I think you need to find a job, work for someone else. And that's the only way you can count on an income. The shop went on to be successful. And even though I sold it many years ago, it still exists to this day under a different name. But that's a long time ago. My sweet dad would tell you the story if he was still around. I believed in Sandra every step of the way. I knew she was going to be a success, and I just never said anything, let him have that thought. But he wasn't a big champion for that because his past didn't dictate that. So while Darren spoke of other people, they're looking through their eyes and through their experiences, giving that advice. And bless them. Everybody has an opinion, don't they? Oh my gosh, they do. And most of the time you get it even if you don't want it. So if you want to fast forward, after my dad had passed and I decided I wanted to write a book, which ended up being We Don't Die, A Skeptic's Discovery of Life After Death, I was on the fence about hiring a business coach because I thought, oh my gosh, how do I get to the masses? And this is a guy that really proved that he could help people. And at that time, I still had the chocolate shop. Well, this fellow told me, oh, don't write a book about life after death and grief. He says, nobody wants to read that. He says, you need to really explore more with the chocolate, right? Now, granted, everybody loves chocolate, or most people love chocolate. But that inner compass of mine knew, right? We got to pay attention. And I think if I was your compass inside you, I'd want you to be happy. I'd want you to have a smile on your face. I'd want you to find play and love in your life. I'd like you to be curious and investigate and explore. And so while that fellow told me, don't go down that route, like my inner compass said, you know what? I have to go down that route. Just yesterday, my mom and I were going to run out and do a few errands. And that inner compass told me to check the oil and the fluids underneath the hood of the car. Now, we often get our car serviced, so I'm thinking, nah, I don't need to do that. But there it was again and again and again and again and again. Like, okay. And so our radiator fluid was extremely low. If that's too low, you can blow an engine. So we had purchased some and fixed it. But it was just for me, and I don't know about you, but how many times do we really listen to that internal guidance system? You can call it your inner GPS, you can call it a compass. But I think truly, besides having loved ones in this unseen space around us, and besides having guides, I think who we are as souls coming into this earth, we are pretty darn powerful. And it's like we have this best friend that is right with us, but says, I'm going to be right here for you. I'm always with you. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions when you need them, but I'm here and I love you and I want you to be happy. But so many times as humans, what do? We look outside of ourselves for that. And I'm going to be 58 years old. And you know what? This is a perfect time to tell you one of the reasons I love Medium Maurice is because we share the same birthday. Yes, we do. When after I met Maurice, we were having a couple of drinks in the bar, and there was just something about him. You know, when you click with someone? And I said, when's your birthday? April 8th. Mm-hmm. That's why we love each other so much. People, no matter when your birthday is, I know that you can feel a connection with a human being, but who you feel the most connection with is that soul self of yours, that compass, that internal GPS that's right there with you. So how do you tap into that? First of all, I don't care how old you are. Your life is worth living. Your life is worth pursuing your dreams, your passions. It's about being happy. There's no right way or wrong way really to do life. You know, if you have to make a decision. It's actually a choice. There's no wrong way. No one can tell you, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." Take a risk. You know, your dreams fulfilled are outside of your comfort zone. And that's the only way we're going to be able to experience new things is to get into the new. Am I a champion of doing this? No, I am not. Am I a creature of habit sometimes? Yes, I am. But I do know when I do new things with people I love and create new memories and new experiences, I think miracles happen. And I also know, based on the amount of books that I buy that I haven't read yet, you know, I can kind of tell where my interests are, but make the priority for yourself to do some of those things that you want to do and be with the people you want to be with and love the way you want to love. There's a beautiful wisdom that I found with aging. Because when I was younger, I tell you, I don't know if you'd call it low self-esteem, but I would say kind of, right? I always wanted to fit in, or I thought I was never good enough, not knowing that the most attractive people in the world are actually the people that are bold, they're creative, they're unique, they go out and they do what they want to do. And so while I tried to follow the flock for a little while, it didn't take long before I became an entrepreneur myself. And now I tell you, I know you guys see me now, or you might hear my voice on some of the podcasts. There's just been this wonderful realization that if I could give it to you, I would. And many of you may have it. And that's that realization that you're a perfect, whole, and complete just the way you are. The way you smile, the way you talk, the way you dress, your sense of humor, it is perfect for you. You don't need to change. You don't need to be anything for anybody else. You keep being you. I'll keep being me. And there is this freedom. And I think for many of the people that we respect and many of the people that we watch speak that are the most engaging, you can be on the edge of your seat with them. It's because they're being real. So if I were your inner GPS or your inner compass right now, be real, look in your heart for what's important to you, smile, find some things that you love. I'm sure you know some things that you love or you love to do. It's never too late. Please know we're always going to have this inner voice that may be saying some negative things. You're not good enough to do that. You can't do that. Oh, that's for other people to do. Thank it for sharing and just set it aside. You are human. You're one of a kind. You're perfect. And like the reading said in the music that Darren's picked, you are loved no matter what. You're you. Again, no right way or wrong way to do life. Just do it your way and be happy. So with that, thank you for listening. Darren is back in the house. Darren, I just continued on because your internet went away. We're going to move on to our demonstration of mediumship. And we have medium Maurice in the house. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Many of you may know him from, a couple years ago. He was our guest medium, and he was a fan favorite. So we're thrilled that he's back. If this is your first time on the Sunday Gathering, or you've been with us before, just how this works is this. Now, you see Maurice and Darren and I on your screen. Okay, so we represent everybody here on earth in our Sunday gathering. We have some friends in the spirit world that will come and work with us through Maurice today. We'll get a handful of people that are here on behalf of them saying, we are right here with you. We haven't died. Our love is still real. We've got one foot in your world. We know exactly what you're doing. We will see you again. We love you. And sometimes there's some messages that come through as well. With any medium, we want you to just know a few things. One, we can all put in our requests for our loved ones to come through. And I think we all do, right? That's just human nature. But if we can all think, let the recipient who needs it the most get the words today. The people that come to our Sunday gathering, many are silently grieving. We come here because we have loved ones who have passed. We desperately want to know that they've lived on. So we'll just send out that moment, let it go to the person or people that need it the most. Our spirit friends work in a very unique way, though, because if you listen in, you can actually pull some of this information towards yourself. You might say, oh, I needed a little bit of that today. So even if it's not your loved one, doesn't mean your loved one's not here. Might be this person is working on behalf of all of our loved ones. Maurice will open up to the spirit world and invite a person, and we are still people, to come in and work with him. The friends in the spirit world will use his thoughts, his feelings, his senses, whatever, to put a picture or feeling in his mind and soul of who's with him. He'll give a few initial bits of information about the person who is with him. So we want you to listen in close, because the spirit world knows exactly who's in our Sunday gathering today. Even if you're out for a walk and you think nobody knows, oh yes, those in the unseen world know you're here. But he'll give a few initial bits of information. If you can recognize everything that he says, the person that he's described is somebody that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. So this is the time where you can find your raise hand button on your device and press it and see how it works. Press it up, down. It says raise hand, lower hand, raise hand, lower hand. Those in the spirit world could be a friend, could be a family member, could be somebody you worked with. You never know how they work, all right? But if you can understand all the information that he said, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, sometimes there's more than two people that can take the information, so you really want to listen in close. He'll work to narrow it down so it's just one person. So if some of the information no longer fits, you'll want to press that lower hand button. So I think that's pretty much how it goes. If you have an opportunity to work with a medium, whether it's on the Sunday gathering or anywhere in the future, do your best to just limit your responses to yes, no, or I don't know. All right. We want everybody to feel that love from the spirit world and know that Maurice is working with people that no longer walk this earth. Too often people leave medium readings and demonstrations thinking, did I volunteer all that information, or did that come through the medium? So just to be on the safe side, just say yes, no, or I don't know to the information. We're going to play one piece of music before we start. It's a good opportunity to just let those love vibes and happy feelings flow. And if you want to just imagine your loved ones packed tight in the room you're in right now or wherever you are, and just enjoy it. This is a new song to me, but it's called Compass. And I thought it's got the perfect words for what it is that we are talking about today. So we're going to play the song, and then we will be back with my birthday buddy, medium Maurice. Pretty song, Maurice. You just need to unmute yourself. Welcome back, Maurice, to the Sunday Gathering.
Thank you so much, Sandra, and thank you to you and Darren both. for the wonderful words this morning of wisdom and guidance for everyone that's joining us today. I just want to say hello to everyone here and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for wherever you're joining each of us. Joining us from whatever part of the world you're in right now. As I'm sitting here, I'm already becoming aware of a gentleman who's stepping forward with me here. And as I begin to connect in with him, I very much feel this gentleman would have been someone who would have been in the military and his life would have been of the military here as I begin to connect in with him. He shows me here that I know that he's someone who would have been active and had to have gone to war to fight at some point, but he would have worked his way up. And I feel that I'm in a higher level here, like general or colonel level, because I can see the stripes on the jacket of his uniform as he steps forward with me here. I'm very much aware this gentleman would have been someone who would have worked with, honestly, private issues within the government. But I'm aware here he would have ended up with a job in an office in the end, as opposed to working with the actual military. Would anyone understand what I've given so far here, please?
Thank you very much, Maurice. All right, friends, if that information resonates true with someone you know, please press your raise hand button. You might need to think back on some of the information, but have a think. All right, Beth has her hand raised. Beth, if you can find your unmute button. Hi, Beth. Welcome.
Thank you. It may not be me, but I did work. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I did with a veteran who was a pilot, and he did special ops, and he passed away.
So let me just work with this a little bit and see, but everyone else, please keep listening just in case. Because I do feel with this particular gentleman, because he presents himself to me in his military uniform, and I know that he would have at some point gone to work in an office type setting. Now, you spoke of someone with special ops. Do you know if he did office work? And if
I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I just feel he's being very clear about this, that I know that I'm in an office, I'm looking out over the city that I'm working from. And I'm very much aware here that he would have been connected in with his family. He's showing me family around him as well. So I'm not quite sure if this is the right person, to be honest.
Yeah, it may not be. It may not be because I don't know about the office work.
Right. Would anyone else here understand what I've given so far?
Jane has her hand raised, and you keep listening in, Beth. And Bobby has her hand raised as well. So we actually have.
Hi.
That's
Yes,
Jane.
I know someone who passed last year, and he was a colonel.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and he did later in life have didn't work in the military. Yeah.
Right, but he was in more of an office setting, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because the way that this gentleman makes me feel, but you would have had a close relationship with him, correct? Does that make sense?
My husband was very close to him, and I knew him.
Okay. If I say to you that he even would have had even connections in Washington, D.C., would you be aware of that, please? Or at that level of security?
Possibly. I'm not sure because he didn't disclose a whole lot.
Right, about what he did?
Sorry?
No, he didn't disclose much of what he did.
Right, with the military. Mm-hmm.
Were you aware if this gentleman would have had a daughter, please?
No.
He did not have a daughter.
No, he did not. So maybe not.
And who was the other person that stepped forward today, Sandra?
All right, Jane, you stay where you are. Fusan, you have your hand raised.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Fusan. Is it Fusan?
Yes, Fusan.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Maurice.
Good. The things I've said so far, do they make sense to you, please?
Yes, my uncle was one less than a
Okay, fantastic.
and he did have a daughter.
He did have a daughter. Okay, fantastic. He would have dealt with high level. He may not have been able to talk about it, but were you aware of him dealing with either high level security or doing things of that level? Would that make sense, please?
I'm not sure if it's high level security.
All right, so you know what? Let me go on and see what else he's going to give me, and you keep listening. And Jane, please keep listening as well, because as I work with this gentleman, he comes in to show me that he took his job quite seriously, but I feel that he was a very intelligent man here as well. I know that there would have been times during his work life and work experience where he would have actually at times had to miss either like events with the family or especially like birthdays, things like that that were going on within the family. Does that make sense to either of you, please?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yes.
Jane, you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, please keep listening. Fusan, please keep listening. So as I continue to work with this gentleman here, I'm very much aware with him as well. I know that when he would have gone over to the other world, he would have died of heart issues or heart attack, please. Does that make sense to either of you?
Jane?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Okay, Fusan?
exactly.
I'm not sure exactly if it was a heart attack either.
Okay. As I continue to work with this gentleman here, would either of you understand connection to the Northeast? I feel like I'm in the like around DC area, up in that area, New York, New Jersey, DC. I've got to be up in that area. Does that make sense to either of you, please?
No.
Northeast, but not those specific areas.
Okay, because I just know as I'm working with him here, he's very much showing me that he's aware of the seasons here, and I'm very much seeing snow and cold. So he's showing this to me, and I know I'm being pulled up towards the Northeast as I connect in with him. And the gentleman that I'm connecting with here, I'm also aware of, he would have also had medals or awards of appreciation from his time fighting as well. Do either of you understand that?
Yes.
That's Jane.
Okay.
Fusan?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Jane?
Yes.
All right, you don't understand it. And I also am very much aware here. Jane, Fusan, please keep us, but I feel I'm being pulled more to Jane, to be honest. I feel that with these medals, Jane, that he has, I feel these medals would have all been put in some type of encasement or border, and everything's been put off to the side together. Do you understand that, please?
I believe that's true. I think I might have seen it once.
All right, thank you. And I know as well here, as I continue to work with this gentleman, he shows me that all of his gear from when he was in active military, it's interesting. It's like everything was kept. Like they didn't get rid of anything. Everything's been kept and literally put off to the side. This is either in a trunk or in drawers that I'm looking at here. Do you understand that, please?
I wouldn't know that information, but that sounds like that would be the case.
You know, as I work here with him, he shows me that even though he worked like this, he was very much a family man and a mild-mannered man. Does that make sense to you, please?
Yes.
He shows me that he was someone that even though he had this high position within the ranks, that he was more soft-spoken than he was someone who was demanding and overbearing. You understand that, please?
Absolutely. Yep.
And I know here with him as well, that he would have, anyone that, if you were in his company, that he would have taken the time to let you know that you were appreciated and loved, because that is who he was as an individual. Do you understand that, please?
Yes, I do.
And I know with this gentleman here as well, he shows me that he would have had a particular interest in spending time in the outdoors, like in nature and doing things in the outdoors. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because he pulls me here as I'm working, because I've said to him, you've got to give me something more. He pulls me here as I'm working with him into the outdoors. And I know that I appreciate being outside. I know I appreciate being by water. And I believe that I am even fishing here is what he's showing me. I know that as I continue to work with him here, I know that he was very much about camaraderie, spending time with others in his life as well. He was not someone who was always in solitude. He liked to spend time around others. Do you understand this, please?
Yes.
As I work with him here, I know that there would have been gatherings that you would have been a part of with him while he was here on the earth. Do you understand?
Small gatherings.
Right, but you understand that though, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because he just shows me here, as I'm continuing to work with you here, that he just wants to be. Now, Fusan, I just want to be sure. I very much feel the gentleman that you were speaking of, did he have a daughter, please?
Yes, my cousin.
He does. Okay, fantastic. Because that's very important here. Because I know that his daughter was one of the most important people in his life here. You understand that, please?
Yes.
And I know that even as his daughter has crossed over to the other world, I mean, I'm sorry, as he's crossed over to the other world, I'm not sure if you've had discussions with her about him leaving, but I'm very much aware here that he's come back to visit her in dreams and to make his presence known, even though he's now gone. You understand this, please?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I'm not sure if you're able to mention that to her at all.
Yes, I could get a hold of her.
All right. And I know that as I work here with him, Fusan, would you understand him, please, taking trips from America over towards, I want to go towards Middle East, like towards places in the Middle East. Do you understand that, please?
Yes, that's where he's from.
Okay, thank you. Because I just know that I'm being pulled there as we're talking here. And I just know that there would have been time spent there because we still have family connections that are there as well. You understand that, please?
Yes.
And I know that as I'm talking to him, he's showing me that these family connections were so important to him, and he would have taken time even to send money and to even help them out over there if necessary, if things were going bad there and things were okay here. You understand that, please?
Yes, he's from that area. He's
okay.
Not from America.
Right. The reason I feel he's coming today, one, I just want to get a message to his daughter that he's still around, and even from the other world, he's coming to still provide her with guidance and comfort here in this world.
Yes.
But I'm also very much aware that his daughter's receiving signs from him while he's here. Well, I'm sorry, even though he's gone, I know that she has an awareness of him still being around.
Okay.
And I also am very much aware with his daughter as well. He tells me here that there is a picture on her phone that he looks at quite often and thinks of him. I know that this is a picture that she sat and become very emotional about and had thoughts of him. And he's saying to me that when she has these thoughts and thinks of him in that way, he's right there beside her. And he wants to let her know that he's there and connecting with her from the other world during these times. I'm also aware here, please, as I'm talking to him, are you aware, please, of a baby coming in somewhere around the family, please, or someone who's expecting?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll leave that with you because that's one of those things, because it's probably, I believe it's more around their family than around you specifically.
Yes.
If you could please just get that message to her that he's coming in, I feel what he's coming in is he's making everyone aware that he's aware of this child or the thoughts of this child coming into the world, because I do feel this is something that will be made known soon. If I feel it's around, but we're not talking about it yet. But I just want to let you know that he's coming in with his love for her. And I want to tell him that he's very proud of her as well, because he talks here about how he tried to really be the best father that he could, but he couldn't always be there for every single thing she wanted to do. But from the other world, he will come and assist her in any way that he can moving forward. May I leave that information with you, please?
Yes, thank you.
And I'll leave you with his love. Thank you so much for working with me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. And you also have Jane still with us, who took some of that information as well. Maurice.
Jane, do you understand the majority of that information as well?
He didn't have a daughter, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing that made the difference.
Yeah.
And I do feel the gentleman that I was with had a daughter because he showed her to me when I first began. But thank you so much for working with me, Jane. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Fusan. Thank you for everybody listening in. Back to you, Maurice.
All righty. Let's see who else we have here today. All right. As I'm beginning to connect in here, I have to say I've got these ladies coming in with I feel with this lady, the first lady stepping forward, I feel that she's a grandmother. But I feel she's an absolute character here, because as she comes in, there's a tremendous amount of energy with her. And I feel that she was someone who would have been a little bit not over the top, but she just got things done the way she needed to get things done. And she's just telling me that she didn't have time to wait on people. She just made it happen. As I work with this grandmother here, I don't feel that she was from this country. I feel that she was from another country as I work with her here, because as I'm talking with her and beginning to communicate, I can see that these are narrow streets that she's showing me where she lived. And I even feel that some of these roads, and I may be a little off with what I'm saying, I feel like some of these roads were either like stone or cobblestone roads that I see here. I'm very much aware that with this lady, that as I'm working with her, within the area that she lived, which I know is not America, like I said, I'm in another country and I'm trying to see where we're going here. I know that we would have had to go to market to get all fresh goods, all fresh vegetables, and do everything back at home. But I'm very much aware as I continue to work with her, she shows me at least one other woman, if not two, who would have been family. They would have always been around each other and spent time together. I feel one of these other women is more than likely a sister to her. But I know that as I work with her here, I want to go as far as saying with them, I feel that I'm looking at someone, I'm going back and forth between countries, but I want to say I have the strongest pull towards Greece, please. So would that make sense for anyone, please?
Thank you, Maurice. All right, who understands this information? Sophia and Fusan both have their hands raised.
Okay. So as I continue to work with these ladies, you know, it's interesting here because, like I said, I feel very strongly this is grandmother. I feel she was a woman who just did what she had to do. I feel as she steps forward with me, the biggest thing and the most important thing about her was family. And I feel that I don't feel she would have made it here to the US. I feel she would have stayed in her country of origin, but I feel someone connected here would have gone back to visit her at some point and would have absolutely met her. Does that make sense for either of you, please?
Fusan, who you just spoke with. Hi, Fusan.
Hi.
Can you understand all the information?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So I've got Fusan again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Fusan.
Hi.
And my other person dropped out, Sandra?
The other person dropped out, but Shelley, you have your hand raised. Can you take 100% of the information too, Shelley?
Yes.
Yes, you
Hi.
can. Okay.
Yes.
Shelley and Fusan, who both take all the information.
All right, fantastic. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Fusan again. Hi, Shelley. Please keep listening. You know, as I work with this grandmother, would you understand her, please? I want to say that she's got these two other women that I feel would have been with her almost all the time. I know one's absolutely a sister, and another one could possibly be a sister or someone very close like a sister. Does that make sense, please?
Yes.
But yes to Shelley. Fusan?
Okay.
Yes, no.
No, okay. Just keep listening, Fusan, but I do believe I'm pulled more to Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
Shelley, you've had an opportunity to go to Greece and to visit and to see everyone and meet everyone, correct?
No, not in Greece, but I've met them all here in the US. But I have not been there to see them.
I have to be honest, I don't feel this lady made it here to the US.
Oh.
You know what, let me go with this and let's just see where it's going because I can misinterpret, okay?
Okay.
So as I'm working with her now, Shelley, as I work with this lady here, okay, you know that there's a the evil eye, right?
Yes.
And there's an ornament that's made of the evil eye. Do you have that hanging in your home somewhere, please?
Yes.
Okay. And it's interesting because as I continue to work with this, I feel like if you're my person, that is in your home in more than one different place. Do you understand that, please?
Yes.
Okay. And I know that these ladies that I'm working with here, I feel very strongly with them that there were traditions, recipes, and things that were passed down from generation to generation. Do you understand that, please?
Yes.
And I know that as I work with her, I even want to say that some of these things are still written on original paper, or they were on original paper that someone still has kept them. Does that make sense, please?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm definitely with you then. Thank you, Fusan. So Shelley, it's interesting because as I work with these ladies here, I know that grandmom, after she passed over to the other world, I know that you're very much aware of her, even though she's gone to the other world. Do you understand that, please?
Yes.
Okay, because she shows me that she had such energy and such vibrancy about her when she was here, that even from the other world, she still comes in around members of the family to let them know she's there and to still try to provide them with guidance, Shelley. Does that make sense, please?
Yes.
Okay, now this grandmother, if I could say to you, she was a bit of a powerhouse as far as energy is concerned.
Yes.
You understand, there's no stopping her the way she looks. It's like she gets up, she gets things going. Even if you tell her no, if she wants to do something, she's gonna just kind of push on and keep going. You understand that?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know with grandmom here, she shows me that family is one of the most important things to her, and that is what she focused on no matter where she was, no matter who she was with. You understand this, please?
Yes.
Now, Shelley, when she came here to the US, would you understand, please, taking her to an area that looks like a city or a big city where she saw like buildings and things like she'd never seen before?
Yes.
Yeah, and her being in absolute awe. You understand this?
Yes.
Yeah, because she was very dramatic when she was
Yes.
seeing these things.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and wondering like, oh my gosh, like looking at things and making all kinds of faces and saying things and just being her normal, lovely self. And I know with her as well, but the thing that I love about her even more so is that the amount of love that comes from her, because you know she's someone who would be quick to hug and to make contact with you as well. You understand that, please?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I know that the other thing that was talked about, if I say to you that we tasted some food while we were here and she wasn't necessarily 100% pleased, do you understand that, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because she's making a face here. As I'm looking at her, she's making me laugh because it's like, this is supposed to be good food and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
She definitely believed in the good old home cooking. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I know as I continue to work with her, she shows me here, Shelley. Are you the one that has the necklace from her in the family, please?
Yes.
Okay, because she's making me very much aware of this necklace here. And she's very pleased that you have this necklace, okay?
Mhm.
She makes me smile here because I know that you look at this necklace from time to time and wear it from time to time. But she's saying with her, you know, she's not a quiet woman, is she?
No.
So she's saying to me, she wishes that you wore it a little bit more, but that's from her. And I have to say to you, the other thing that she's talking about here as she stepped forward, she makes me feel very clearly that she wants you to take more of those recipes and to do more of that cooking. You understand this, please?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, because she's been talking, because this is also something that's been in your mind lately. There have been thoughts of these recipes and what to do with some of these. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, very much so.
Yeah, because she's very much aware of these thoughts. And she just wants to say to you that she's coming in, she wants to leave you with her love today. And she's very pleased to have had an opportunity to come in with you today. And she wants to pass on her love, if I can leave that with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And she actually at age 86 walked across the Golden Gate Bridge and she was so excited.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, she's lovely. She's full of energy. Full of energy.
Thank you so much, Maurice.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Maurice, you want to do one more person?
Sure. Let's make it happen.
Oh, thank you.
So let's see what we have here. All right. So as I'm sitting here, I'm aware of a gentleman who's stepping forward with me. This gentleman feels like father to me. And I feel like as father, I want to come forward for my daughter here. As he steps forward for me, he makes me feel like the two of you had an amazing relationship through life. He's a very mild-mannered man, and I'm very much aware here. He makes me feel, I believe this is a father-daughter dance that I'm seeing here, that we're doing together. You as the daughter are very young, that I see. And I know that can fit for quite a few people, but he's saying specifically, this is one of the memories that he had that was very particular for him. Was this father-daughter dance, or a dance where he's dancing with you at a very young age? Does that make sense to anyone, please?
Thank you very much. I know we had some friends put their hands up real early, so I lowered them. So if you can take a look, and if this all makes sense to you, raise your hand again. We have three ladies with their hands raised.
Yeah, I had a feeling, because that father-daughter dance. All right. So, you know, as I'm continuing to work with him here, the thing that he shows me here, I believe that he would have given one of you a piece of jewelry that would have been a heart, please. Does that make sense to anyone?
All right. We have all hands went down.
That's not good. Okay. Because he's making me aware of this piece of heart jewelry here, which I know in somehow or some way connects to him. Someone came back up.
Yes. Jeanette, you have your hand raised. You can understand all the information.
Yes.
And Tessa does too.
Two? That's okay.
We do. We have Tessa as well.
Oh my.
Let me just confirm. Jeanette, you can take all the information he shared, including the heart.
Yes, the
Okay.
necklace. Yeah.
Yeah. And Tessa, you can take all the information, including the heart necklace.
Not a necklace, but another heart jewelry
Okay.
item.
Another heart jewelry item. Okay. Over to you, Maurice.
All right. So just, you know what, just keep listening and see where we go with this. You know, as I work here with this father, one of the things that I absolutely love about him is I know that during his lifetime, he would have made every move and every intention to spend as much time with you as he could, because he was that type of endearing father.
Yes.
And wanted his daughter to know that he absolutely loved her and was there to support and protect her. Does that make sense to both of you?
Yes,
please?
I was very spoiled.
Yeah.
Jeanette, Tessa, can you understand this information too?
Definitely in recent years.
Okay.
What about younger years?
Tessa?
Less so.
Less so in younger years. Okay.
All right. I believe I'm with Jeanette, but please keep listening, Tessa, just in case. You know, Jeanette, it's interesting with him because I know that sometimes as you sit and ponder childhood with your father, there's so many things that come because he's showing this to me here, that sometimes you sit and honestly, you have thoughts about him and how things used to be as a child and how you felt so protected and how life is so different now without him. Do you understand that, please?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm very much aware here with him as I work with him. He talks to me here about anything that you would have needed, no matter what age you were, whether it was money, anything that he could give you to support you at any time of need. He would have gone to do it through any length to get that for you. Does that make sense, please?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm very much aware that as I talk to him here, Jeanette, do you understand a box of things that are connected to Dad, please?
Yes.
Okay. Because he's talking to me about this box of things that are his, that you go through from time to time. You understand this, please?
Yes.
And as I look within this box of things, it's just different mementos because I feel like I'm looking at pictures. I think I'm possibly looking at a watch here, if I'm not mistaken. This is a piece of jewelry or watch. And
Yes.
Yes, you understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just talking to me here about he's just so happy and pleased that you kept those things and those mementos of him and the thought of his relationship. Now, I know that we're in the month of February here. If I go back to the month of January, do you understand an anniversary in connection to the family around Dad, please?
Yes, my anniversary was in January.
Thank you very much. Thank you. He's just shared that with me. So I need to tell you happy anniversary from Dad here as well. I know that Dad comes to you from time to time and does his best to make his presence known to you, Jeanette. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, because he's showing this to me here. But I'm also very aware as I continue to pay attention to him, if I say to you there's very specific music that reminds you of Dad, do you understand this, please?
Yeah, polkas.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Because he's making reference and he's actually chuckling the same way you are. But I also know that you have some of this music somewhere around. Does that make sense?
I did. Yeah, I had so many like old records. He left me like a ton of records and I just had to get rid of them. They just took up too much space.
Okay. Yeah, because that's absolutely what he's making reference to. He's making me smile here because he's saying to me, you know what? Nobody liked my music but me. But at the same time, it really made him laugh and smile. You understand that, right?
Yeah, that's what he used to dance. When he danced, I used to put my feet on his.
Right.
And we used to dance the polka because
yeah. Because that's even like and it even makes me go back to where I was seeing like the dancing with the father-daughter thing here, because I literally could just see you guys moving in synchronicity together here. So he just makes me smile with this as well. And I'm very much aware here. He shows me here, Jeanette, I feel like you, after Dad crossed over to the other world, did you write a letter to Dad or a journal entry, please?
Yes.
Okay. Because I need to let you know that he was right by your side as you were writing these words and experiencing the emotion that you were experiencing. And I need to let you know that if you were not aware of him, he wants you to know that even though he's in the other world now, and he's not by your side in a physical way, that he's always going to be by your side. If there's any way that he can provide for you, he will continue to try from the other world. You're always going to be his special girl. You understand that, right?
Yes, I was the baby, so I was spoiled.
Right. And he just wants to let you know that no matter what, he's always going to be there for you. And he's also saying to me before he goes, he's saying, please stop being so hard on yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, things are going to come together. And may I leave you with Dad's love, please?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for working with me today.
All right, bye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as a thank you for Maurice, let's just press our raise hand button. Thank you so much, Maurice, for being here and donating your time to us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That's my birthday brother, Maurice. Thanks, Maurice. Some announcements I have for you before we continue on. First of all, find out more about Maurice. Just easily go to mediummaurice.com. Easy to remember. And like I said earlier, we all want our loved ones to come through, but this is just a little taste of how close they are to us. Someday, I truly believe, 100% believe that we'll all be able to communicate with our loved ones. We'll know the thoughts and feelings that come to us truly are them, and it will make communication so much easier. My latest episode, if you would like to listen, I spoke with beautiful mother Maria Pay, who many of you know her story. Her ex-husband had custody of the two teenage boys for a weekend, and he ended their lives and ended his own as well. Very sad story. However, she went on looking for evidence of the afterlife, and through different meditations and shamanic healing and such, she's able to put herself in that mental place in her mind to reconnect with the boys. And she has 100% certainty that they're still alive, and the things that they've showed her, it's truly incredible. And she gives a free copy of her book PDF as well. So you want to make sure, go to wedon'tdie.com and you'll find that episode with Maria Pay and get a copy of her book. And then coming up this week, I spoke with Dr. Matthew McKay. I don't have that episode ready yet. It will be this coming week. But he is a psychology professor, never bought into this world of the afterlife, and his adult son was murdered. And as a parent, he went on looking for evidence of the afterlife. And through writing, some may call it inspired writing, he'll light a candle, take some deep breaths, talk to his son. And he is absolutely 100% certain that over the past many years, when he makes a date to talk to his son Jordan, he does. He's the author of the book Seeking Jordan. So many times what we think is just our imagination, it's communication from our loved ones. And, we want to hear it from a medium. We want to hear it from an outside source, but our loved ones are very much alive and they're part of our life. We will see them again. But again, we need to, like we look into our inner compass, we need to slow down to hear them and then trust that it is them. It could be a little bit your mind and a little bit their mind. And the more we practice this, you become that clear channel for just hearing them, because love never dies. They haven't, and neither will we. So here's some announcements, because there's some fantastic things coming up this week. First of all, our home base is wedon'tdie.com. You can click on the store page for everything coming up. Coming up on Tuesday, we have our friend Scott Milligan, who's been doing Sitting in the Power Hours. Beautiful time to just recharge the power of your soul. He'll also be with us on Friday for In the Arms of Eternity, which is an opportunity to sit for healing, and also with a trance demonstration included, trance mediumship demonstration included. That you can leave a donation or you can come for free. On Saturday, we're doing a fundraiser event for our friends at the Arthur Findlay College. You may have heard of it. It's a great place where many mediums have had their start. Beautiful old place. It is desperately in need of repair, and through COVID and all of those things, the money just hasn't come in. So Scott will be I'll be with him, a 2-hour event talking about trance mediumship, and then also he will be doing a demonstration, and your questions and answers to a friend in the spirit world are welcome. And of course, replays are included. You don't have to join us live for that. Also, our friends Kath and Mitch Shirley. Remember them? They've been on our Sunday Gathering. Well, they're both advanced grief recovery specialists. And on Tuesday, they will be doing what's called a free grief cafe. This is not recorded. It's just a time where they'll talk about grief. You can share if you'd like to, or you can just listen. It's a 90-minute freebie for you. Also on Wednesday and Thursday, they are hosting some classes with us. Our friends Carrie and Phil normally teach the psychic and medium classes, and they are traveling down under. So they've asked Kath and Mitch to do the new courses. So all are invited. On Wednesdays, it's called The Structure of a Psychic Reading, and on Thursdays, The Structure of a Medium Reading. So you get to find out so much about those topics. And then there's also breakout rooms, and you can witness the power of your own soul at work. Great classes. They're each 6 classes each in the session. You don't have to join live. You can watch the replays. Also, Tuesday, our friend Nick Whittam, who runs Banyan Retreat with Steve and Sue, Nick will be doing a 6-week program called The History of Mediumship. So many people think mediumship is just you go to a medium and you get a reading. Oh, not so. It is an amazing story of the pioneers of mediumship. He'll have slideshow presentations and videos and all kinds of things about these men and women who communicated in so many different ways with the unseen world. And what makes me happy is that if these things happen once, they can happen again. So if anybody is interested in communication, and I think it's important to know the past so we know what's possible in the future, but he's really putting his heart and soul into that. So it's the history of mediumship starting this coming Tuesday. Did I say it all? Yeah, I think so. Also, our tutors are traveling. So if you want to meet Darren and Scott live, they're going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana, Plymouth, Massachusetts, Brighton, England, Barlow, Netherlands, and probably more. You can find that all if you just go to the wedon'tdie.com page, click on the store, and there's a link there for both Scott Milligan page and Carrie and Phil, so you can join them on one of their upcoming trips. Yes, I think I covered everything in the announcement. And all I want to leave you with is a couple of powerful words for the week. Is I don't care what it is. Find something you enjoy or some dream that you have and take one little step in the direction of it. Okay, that's the homework. Should you want to take me up on it. Now, your mind is going to give you 1,001 reasons why you're too busy to do it. Schedule some time or just make it happen. That's the best quote from my mom is don't wait for things to happen, make them happen. Find that one little thing that makes you happy or that you're interested in investigating and take a step towards it. You know, having our dreams fulfilled. Oh, I wish there'd be a lightning bolt and poof, we have it all. But it's a series of just those small little steps. One step, just keep going in that direction. So that's it for the homework, if you want to call it homework. I'd like to pass it over to Darren for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you, Maurice, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I was thinking earlier, if you think of the person that invented the aeroplane, the person that invented the car, the person that invented the computer, can you imagine how much criticism they came under? Oh, you can't do that, that's not possible. And thankfully, they strode forward and did design these products. And think, if they didn't, myself, Sandra, and Maurice would never have met. We wouldn't be here now sharing this with you guys. So it just goes to show the power of your own belief, what you can achieve. And here we are, like I said, Sunday Gathering 205. And I just wanted to share a quote as well from Muhammad Ali, or one that Muhammad Ali used to use. Different strokes for different folks. I'll leave that with you. So if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for today's closing prayer. We'd like to thank our friends, brothers and sisters from across our world for coming here together today in unity under that banner of We Don't Die, and for each and every one of you playing your part which has made this possible here today. We'd like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all those friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen, for being here with us today and each and every Sunday, and allowing us to walk hand by hand, side in side, and embrace and share in your words, your thoughts and your feelings, which has been absorbed by each and every one of us here today to bring us those moments of joy, healing and upliftment, and for allowing us once again to immerse ourselves in that healing balm and that unconditional love, which will be etched in our minds and hearts forever. And as we bring this Sunday gathering to a close and allow the sun to set on this day, we go forward to the dawn of a new day, continuing about our lives, continuing to go forward and grow, to continue to be the true individuals that we are. And we can do this in the comfort and knowledge to know that you continually walk by our side, guiding us, helping us, and inspiring us to truly be the best individual that we can be. That we can bring some healing and comfort to all of mankind and try and make this world a better place for all. And we can continue to go forward in our truth and understanding that love and life are both eternal. So as we leave this Sunday gathering today, we ask once more that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our world, to bring that healing, that comfort, that joy, and that love to all those individuals that are in need on this day. So we'd like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts until we meet again. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. And I have a really cute closing song for you today. But I just want to do a shout out to our friends who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. We don't ask for donations. We don't pass around a plate, but it's appreciated. If you ever have an extra dollar or pound or two, you can go to wedon'tdie.com and click on the Sunday Gathering page, should you like to do that. Our closing song is called My Way. Of course, we know that from Frank Sinatra, but I don't know if you've ever heard it from 5-year-old Sophie, reminding us to live your life your way. You got one life, my friends. Live it your way. Do it. Remember little Sophie. Another shout out. Thank you to Darren. Thank you to Maurice. Thank you to you all. Thank you to our friends in the unseen world. Mwah! We'll see you next week, if not sooner. Bye.